Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we are talking about the latest studio album from For An Autopy entitled The Nothing That Is. But first, just a quick little heads up, a quick little reminder, the Metal Meltdown is hosting its annual, very special Halloween party and live stream right here on the Metal Meltdown this coming Sunday, October 27th. Oh my god! Anna, Chompy, and myself, and possibly other friends, and even special guests throughout the evening. Who knows? Who knows what I have up my sleeve? Even I don't really know. Sometimes this stuff just gets improv, we just kind of wing it. We're gonna drink, shoot the shit, play video games, answer your questions, and hang out all night long. The party starts at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Call the babysitter, call your boss, call in sick, whatever you gotta do. Be there or be square. If this party is anything like any other Metal Meltdown Halloween live stream that we've hosted in the past, you're definitely not going to want to be square. You're definitely going to want to be there. So just do yourself a favor. Just be there, all right? Just be there. Bring a bottle of wine. Dress up real nice. And just be there. Okay then, now that we've got that out of the way, let's officially start talking about The Nothing That Is, the latest full-length studio album, and the 7th overall from this American deathcore crew, For An Autopy. I have been aware of them. I have been following them in some capacity pretty much since their inception. I concede that back in the early 2010s, when they were dropping their earliest recordings, I was not a fan of them. I was still very much in my young, shitty, pissy, edgy, metal elitist phase where I only recognized, classic thrash and death and, 80s grind as the only real metal. I was, unironically a full-blown Thrashin' Jackson type. But as time has gone on and as I've continued to mature and evolve as an adult, as a man, as a human being, as I've continued to broaden my horizons and become more and more open-minded, in turn, I've grown to really appreciate and enjoy a lot of what For An Autopy has done, and simultaneous to this, For An Autopy has also matured and evolved and broadened their own musical horizons. They've been on a progressive hot streak of sorts, getting more progressive musically and conceptually on their last few records with The Great Collapse, The Sea of Tragic Beasts, Oh What the Future Holds. Their music got more complex and elaborate and varied. Their lyrics and the things that they talk about and sing about got a little bit more poignant and urgent and personal and emotional. And as a result, For An Autopy's music in general was just more impactful for me. At times on these albums, and I'd say especially with Oh What the Future Holds, I kind of look to For An Autopy as deathcore's answer to a band like Gojira. And while I haven't necessarily been paying avid attention to this album or to any of the singles released in advance of this album over the course of the past few weeks. In fact, if we're being honest, I didn't even really know it existed until a month ago. Once I was aware of it, and once I did get my hands on it, to listen to and to dissect for this video, I was intrigued and excited to see where For An Autopy would take their sound and to see how they've continued to evolve and progress. And honestly, I think I'm a little let down. I think I'm a little underwhelmed. I don't hate the record. Before you light your torches and sharpen your pitchforks and start fucking crying in the comments section, I overall still think it's a pretty solid, pretty decent record. But that said, in my opinion, this album just doesn't really have the same oomph as previous albums. It doesn't strike quite as hard. It's not as intelligent. It's not as ambitious. I don't want to suggest that it's a generic or very straightforward record because I don't think that's fair or accurate, but it is one-dimensional in comparison to what I've come to expect from For An Autopy as of late. From what I can hear, they've really toned down the most progressive elements of their sound, and they've amped up the most melodic elements of their sound, which isn't a horrible substitute, but it's definitely not as interesting or exciting for me. Now, I will say that the album does start off on a pretty strong note with opening number Hostage, very immediate, spirited, anthemic with soaring melodies, and some of the winding guitars and more intricate and elaborate displays and arrangements that I would have expected from the last couple of records. It's nice to see that even though those progressive tendencies have been scaled down, they do still exist within Fit for an Autopsy. And of course, there are plenty of strong moments throughout the record as well. Lower Purpose, for instance, is filled with swelling, lurching, oozy, groove-laden guitars. Like, it almost has the aggression and weight and momentum of like an old-school, classic, groovy death metal number of sorts, albeit with some extra flavors more akin to what I would expect from like modern-day gent. The double whammy of Savior of None and Ashes of All is pretty solid as well. We do start off with some pretty blatant like melodic metalcore, melodic death metal worship of sorts, but hey, it's fun, it's fine, it works. I'm good. And we do get a nice transition into some more emotive and spacious and expansive kind of like clean vocal work, like soaring melodies. It feels important. A lot of interesting guitars kind of riding underneath and like elevating these vocals as well. And Spoils of the Horde is a thoroughly brutal and blistering track as well, with plenty of little twists and turns all throughout, some more clean and melodic sections with guitar arpeggios and such. Some synths in the very beginning are pretty cool as well. But along the way, unfortunately, there are plenty of other things that I'm just not really digging. Weaker Wolves, for instance, has some like more kind of middle range, low end clean vocals and New York hardcore style barks that just don't really resonate with me. I think in general this track could benefit from a lot more bite and punch and brutality. Then there's Red Horizon, which starts off pretty cool with some ominous backing vocals and riffs, but, you know, by the time we get to that chorus, I just kind of feel like I'm listening to, like, something I would hear in, like, a WWE wrestling video game. And then there's the closing number, The Silver Sun, which suffers and stumbles as a result of trying too hard to sandwich so many different ideas into itself. The saving grace of these weaker, more confused, and more muddled moments is that everyone in the band sounds genuinely fantastic. Like, they're able to still kind of sell a good chunk of this material just because of great guitar work and production, powerful percussion, and, you know, Joe Bad's pretty dynamic and versatile vocal range. Overall, even if this is less progressive and ambitious than previous records, even if it is a step down overall from previous records, I still think it's very well made. I still think there's a lot of heart and emotion and soul and skill on display. I do think that the heavier emphasis on melody is going to really work for some people, and I do like that some of the more intricate and technical aspects that I want and that I look for are still there, even if they are buried. I'm feeling a semi-soft 3 out of 5. It's not really my thing, but I did enjoy quite a bit of it through and through, and I still acknowledge that it is a very well-made record. I concede that I'm probably going to be in the minority here. I've already seen some really positive reviews, and I think it's safe to say that fans of Fit for an Autopsy, aside from those who maybe are vying for a return to the more brutal days of, like, Hellbound, I think are going to be very excited. The particular sound and style of this record opens a lot of doors for Fit for an Autopsy in the future as well. Like, I could kind of see them going in like a full-blown melodic death metal kind of direction in the future. I could see them incorporating more of these progressive influences and combining that with the melodic influences and doing like a melodic progressive death metal record. I could also see them embracing total modern deathcore bombast in a vein similar to something like maybe Lorna Shore, Brand of Sacrifice, Shadow of Intent. Ultimately, only time will tell what Fit for an Autopsy decides to do in the future. These are all bridges that we can only cross when we arrive to them, and we're nowhere near any of them. So I just have to shut my fucking mouth for now. And, you know, that it is what it is. Semi-solid 3 out of 5. Again, I'm personally a little underwhelmed. I'm personally not feeling this as much as the other records, but it is still pretty good. It does still have some strong moments, and I think fans, for the most part, will be pretty happy with this. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I am not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. Wow. Boom, there's another video. Boom, there's another video. That's so crazy. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.